It's been a while, guys. How is everybody, man? For me, it's been crazy. Yeah, I mean, how long has it been? It's been about 2 months since I last put a proper video up on this channel. I've been doing like a couple of shorts here and there, posting stuff in the community as well to kind of keep you guys updated with what I've been up to. But for the most part, man, yeah, it's been kind of a crazy couple months, and with good reason. The main thing being is that I got client work again, like actually consistent client work, which is a blessing. You know, obviously, if you guys have been following me, you know, for these last, 6 months, you know that work's been slow, which is what inspired me to like start this vlogging experience, kind of documenting my process, my art, trying to build more of like an audience base, and also just kind of keeping track of my own process as well, outside of just, this internalized, cataloging of, the work that I've done. This was kind of like a nice way to look back and look at my work at a much more vulnerable space, I guess, putting myself out there, not just for myself, but also for you guys to see. And since taking on more projects, it's been tough to find that balance. It's a new sort of space I've been in. In a lot of ways, had I constantly been busy, I don't know if I would have started this vlog series in the first place, because I know myself, I know how lazy I can be, and I know how, how overwhelming it can be to kind of take on too many things, even though they may be extracurricular and meant to be fun, to do personal work, client work, getting the book out, doing all these different cons, which I'll talk about in a second, and launch the website, and then also recording myself throughout all that process. It's just not at a point where it feels second nature to do so just yet, so I'm still working on that. I'm not giving up on this channel. I definitely see this being a long-term project. A couple of you have reached out asking where I've been, and I really appreciate the sort of passion. Even though I have such a small following, it's great to see that people actually care about the content that I'm putting up on here. And it's been a fun journey, kind of seeing myself sort of slowly get more and more comfortable in this process of vlogging and sharing my process and my work. So here I am, wanting to give you guys a bit of an update with what I've been up to over these last couple months. I think the last video I shared was like this sort of art of using reference, which if you haven't seen it yet, it's just like a foray into, explaining word for word what my art process is like when it comes to my sketches, when it comes to even just how I approach my projects in general, working with reference and kind of combining them in a way to create something different and unique to myself, right? Which hopefully some of you found interesting. I'll be sure to put like a little link on the bottom or somewhere here to point you guys to it if you want to watch it. But yeah, I mean, that being said, when it came to the vlogging, I did record stuff. Last month, and the problem was so much time has passed. I'm also editing these myself that it just became irrelevant. And it didn't really seem to make much sense now posting it with all the new sort of challenges and happenings that's been going on within the business and in personal life for me this month. But I'll give you like a couple of snippets. You can kind of check it out here. I've been doing a lot of time lapses, just kind of recording the last phase of the art book, personal work, talking about, again, the sort of slowness of, not having clients, and that's all kind of changed now. So hence why it's kind of irrelevant to kind of post it. And yeah, again, it just goes back to the fact that, trying to find that balance now that I'm busy again. How do I kind of interweave the YouTube thing on top of everything else? And I think part of it is just trying not to overthink it too much, just kind of record myself talking at the camera, talking to you guys, just being even more just blasé. I feel like I've been kind of lax about it anyways, in terms of, I don't really keep a script. I don't do anything remotely fancy in terms of my camera work. I'm trying something new here now, which is just like I have a softbox here, and I'm kind of messing around with the camera settings a little bit. Hopefully, the results are okay. If not, I might revert back to what I was doing before. Let me know in the comments what you guys think about the new setup. But yeah, long story short on that, I'm trying to see how I can schedule all this in. And I think, just making the commitment of going back to it being monthly, I think is super crucial, just to keep that muscle fresh and, kind of exercise it and make it more of a habit. And yeah, so I'm holding myself accountable again, even though I missed last month and almost this month. I'm hoping to, stay more on top of it, especially with what's been going on lately, such as, probably the most recent, most exciting development is I started doing cons, like artist alleys at different Comic Cons, different events. I say different events. I've only done one so far. I've done Brooklyn Comic Con very recently. That was a fun experience. I didn't record anything. I had every intention to bring the camera, but because it was my first time, I didn't know what to expect. It was all so new. I didn't want to add like another thing on top of understanding setup and understanding my inventory and understanding how to engage with people. How do I convince people to buy into my work? Not just, through a follow and a like, but also, actually invest their hard-earned money into my work. It was very interesting to kind of put myself out there in a way where I'm not like hiding behind a screen, typing, be like, hey, go on my website, and kind of protecting myself. That's like kind of a veil that protects you from rejection, right? Everyone was very responsive to the work. Everyone liked the work, but not everyone liked it enough to buy anything. You know what I mean? So it's just kind of getting that kind of secondhand rejection was interesting, but also a great learning experience just in terms of understanding, what people are into, what people like. The focus of Brooklyn Comic Con, admittedly, talking to other artists that were working it, is about the cosplay. And that was something that was very relevant when checking out the scene. They had like a bunch of cosplayers come in and, do like a catwalk, and everyone was there for that. It was crazy. So it was less a focus on like going there to buy art per se, and more about, they had like this Smash Bros. Inspired wrestling match, a video game section, on top of the artist alley. So people were mostly there for other reasons, the cosplay, things of that sort. Overall, though, still a great experience. Had a great, sort of temporary staff for the weekend. Shout outs to Mina and Jessica and my wife. They all pulled through and helped me out with the setup, helped me out with engaging with clients, even just like managing the inventory, the monies, things like that. It was great. I came out of the event with a loss in terms of the funds, but I think I gained so much more in terms of experience and knowledge, which will hopefully prepare me for the next one, which is only in a couple months, Anime NYC. In that one, I have a lot of work to do. I have every intention to, boost my inventory a bit more, probably print a lot more of my own things as well, just to save on money. I do have a good printer. I just need to be a bit more tenacious about keeping a printing schedule where maybe one day I'll print 10 8x10s of this print, and maybe I'll do another run of a different print, and just have like a book, like a portfolio book of options where people can like buy work to just kind of make the whole process more streamlined. The other exciting thing, which I don't know if I announced in the communities yet, I should have, I feel bad that I didn't yet, but I actually finally have a zine. This is not the book that I've been talking about for the last 6 months, but the zine is a culmination of works that I've done under the Booty Zoo moniker, which has been my ongoing character project that I've been doing for the last 5 years. Recently, for the latest chapter of this universe. It's been going on for about 3 or 4 years, and that is what the art book will be, which will be like a much more extensive, much more comprehensive character design exercise and story exercise. But the zine I'm very proud of, because it's kind of like a best of. You know, there was a lot of work to kind of consider and curate, and I admittedly I threw this together very quickly, just to be able to have this ready for Brooklyn Comic Con. It's about 30 pages, and you know, on top of this, I printed like a slew of different prints. Most of them are 8.5 by 10s, and a couple of other ones using a C printing process, very similar to photography, what you use there. So it's a matte print, but I think the term is silver halide paper. I might be butchering that, but it's basically a kind of paper, super sharp, super rich in color, but it does darken the color a little bit from what you see on screen compared to like a cliche printing. So that's actually available currently in my shop, on Briseau.com. I'll be sure to put a link. And yeah, really excited. I've already been getting sales post Comic-Con. I only did a run of about 50. So whatever sells out, that's it. Like, I'm not going to be making any more. I'll be ready to move on to the next volume. So I'm hoping to kind of do these zines quarterly, you know, just kind of release one, let that sell out, and then let enough time pass before I release the second volume. 30 pages feels right. And the format currently is a 6x9. I have a draft that I did that was more 8x10, but I was selling prints at this size as well, so it didn't really make much sense to sell this in this like slightly larger format the way it is, when people would also buy prints of almost an equal value that are just one image, right? So this is kind of just like an artist-proof copy for me. And these much smaller sort of 6x9 prints made a lot more sense. The paper quality is nice. Nothing too fancy, but it is a zine, you know, like it's just something that's very DIY. I did it on blurb.com. Shout out to James White for that recommendation. Blurb.com, really cool. Yeah, so be sure to get your hands on one before it flies off the shelves. Probably won't go that fast, but I hope you guys get your hands on one before it disappears. Yeah, I mean, that's pretty much it for that. What's next? Man, there's a course that I've been working on, that's going to be live this summer. We're working on it over the last few months, which is another reason why, you know, I've been kind of neglecting the YouTube, is that I have been recording myself. It's just not been necessarily for this channel. I kind of did a hint of it again with that the lab episode 3 that I mentioned earlier in this video. Basically like a tutorial of character illustration, how I go about my process, kind of breaking down the ins and outs of how I approach that, and even including some very rudimentary, basic, you know, anatomy and sort of shading and, you know, mood board tutorials, like how I do those things, you know, establishing those fundamentals before going right into the actual design itself. So that should go live, like I said, around midsummer. I'll be doing more of these kinds of tutorials, I think, on this channel as well, just to really just get into the habit of letting you guys get used to seeing me doing these types of things. People tend to really enjoy the way I talk about work and how I share my tutorials whenever I do them, which is rare these days. So I might do more of that. Also, I mean, I've been talking about this forever, but the live streams, that's going to be something that I definitely intend to do. And I think the live stream content will be basically finalizing sections of the art book, you know, and just kind of taking your questions and keeping it very simple like that, maybe about an hour on a Friday or something. So we'll see. By the time this video is up, I might have already done one. I don't know. I think looking at my schedule, I think I can start fitting them in now, because I'm in the studio every day since becoming a parent, finally. Which, by the way, that's been going great. The little one's doing well. Her older sibling has been an amazing asset, just in terms of being a big sister and just, you know, smothering her with love as well. So just like a quick side note, you know, the parent life has been going great. Just exhausted, you know, need more sleep. That's about it. Is there anything else? I mean, the studio's a bit of a mess. I need to kind of do some summer cleaning. I got a lot of clutter in here that I don't need. So kind of going through and trying to, streamline things a bit. I've had ideas on different types of series that I want to do, unboxings of things when friends give me toys. Like I just recently got this one by my homie Cody. I did an unboxing video for this one, which I recorded, and I forgot to turn on the mic, so I have to do a VO for that, which is why that's not up yet, but really, really cool. And also just sharing like reference material that I like to look at or collect, like art books. So I have an overhead camera on my other desk here where I'm starting to, go over some of my like top 3 favorite art books or whatever, keeping it very, very simple, but just creating more content, more material for you guys to hopefully help you in terms of your creative processes if you're an artist, or just to kind of keep you entertained and to kind of keep the channel busy. So yeah, I mean, other than that, with regards to the art book, that has become my new focus, probably my only focus right now in terms of personal work. I'm kind of now pushing all the other personal projects to the side, and unfortunately that also includes the exhibition. Granted that body of work from the art book is directly coinciding with the exhibition. Like there's specific pages that I've been printing large that you guys might recall over the last few months. But in order to give the exhibition proper attention and care, unfortunately, I think I'm going to have to make a tough call and push the exhibition out probably another year, maybe at least another 6 months, because, I'm just a team of one here and I have no help when it comes to executing the creative. I have very, very little help when it comes to executing the logistics as well. So it's been a tough one, just trying to juggle it all, and I had this ambition and this hope to enter into the gallery space, or at least find a gallery that would hopefully support me. But lately it's been just slam doors or just no response. So it's the reality. There's a lot of gatekeeping in that world, unfortunately, and I think it's going to have to be a situation where I need to carve my own way and find my own space where I can just host people, come in temporarily, and then that'll be it, and hopefully that'll kind of, snowball into something much greater. So for now, it's kind of a failure, but not really. I also see it as an opportunity to kind of learn from this setback and see what are some of the things I weren't considering. I've been consulting with my wife a lot actually around this, and she's been a great resource, just, offering a great many critique as well as some very sort of insightful approaches and feedback in terms of how I can handle not just the execution of the art, but also the logistics of the situation, which has been over my head, admittedly, every once in a while. So yeah, so no exhibition this year. It will definitely happen. The work is there. It's just in storage. I have more work that I want to print out, which, I actually had to put a pause on because the funds have been dwindling. So yeah, the reality is right now, it's the book. The book is number one, especially by the time Anime NYC comes out, because while Brooklyn Comic Con was more about the cosplay and, just the activities around the Artist Alley very much being like secondary or tertiary to it. Anime NYC, from what I've been told, is all about people wanting to buy goods, like buy swag, buy art, check out cool artists, that kind of thing, on top of the events that come in. And it's a 4-day event, 100K people at Javits Center in New York City. I mean, I am not prepared. I'm not prepared at all in terms of my inventory, in terms of, how do I want to manage, if I even get like a larger audience that wants to invest in my work. What are some backup options? Like, will they be able to purchase things online if anything sells out? Things like that. So I need to, on top of getting the art book done, get on top of my inventory and, make sure that everything's in order by the time it comes to set up for Anime NYC, which I'm super excited for. Yeah, man. I mean, I think that's it. I kind of wanted to come in here and give you guys an update, keep it very simple, just a single shot. You know, give you some snippets of things I've done in the past here and there throughout this conversation, but I hope this video satiates your appetite a little bit, if there was any. Definitely going to try to be a bit more consistent now that I've, you know, started doing this again. So this will be my vlog for this month, and hopefully next month, you know, there'll be more exciting news to share. But until then, guys, again, it's great to be back. Happy to, you know, see your comments. It really kind of keeps me going when it comes to taking on challenges like this. And yeah, be on the lookout for some more updates in the community posts and the shorts as well. But yeah, if you want more frequent updates outside these videos, obviously you can follow me on Instagram, Twitter, Blue Sky, and a boatload of other ones, TikTok, all in the description below. Like, comment, subscribe. Please comment, especially. I love engaging with you guys and answering your questions. So yeah, man, it's been a good one. I'll catch you guys on the next one. Peace.